What's up, collectors? P-Rockzilla back again for another review, and I'm trying to get back on track to get the 2 reviews done a week, and this one is from a figure. I know Shredder, but I don't know what the Shredder Worms of Madness is. I didn't read this comic. So this is the Eastman and Layers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder from the Mirage comics, and the art right there looks pretty cool. I'm not sure what that all those marks on Shredder is when he has his armor off, but I do know the Shredder with their armor on, so I definitely needed a Shredder to go my Mirage Comics line that I have displayed in my collection. So I'm happy to grab this, and I'm happy to do a review for it, even though, like I said, I'm admitting, don't know much about it, but I'm very intrigued in the figure, so we're going to see how this figure comes out. I like the fact that it's a 2-pack. I got this at my local Walmart, and it was the last one there. I was like, damn, do I really need a Shredder? But if you're a Turtle fan, you got to have all 4 Turtles, and you got to have Shredder. So I hope you guys enjoy this review. So with that in mind, let's get this review started. Dale! What's up, fellow collectors? Die action. Dale. Alright, so let's take a nice close-up look at the box right here, because I do love, it's been a while since I picked up a turtle figure. Really hasn't been much I call my interest. Like I said, I just saw the Shredder. I need a Shredder. You always need Shredder in your collection if you have the Turtles. But right here in the front, this is art from the comics, more likely. You got Eastman and Layers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right there. You got Shredder, Worms of Madness. He looks mad right there, I can tell you that. So you can see, I guess that's the worm right there, more likely. That's the worm. I'm not sure if he ingests it or it goes up his culo, or I don't know what it is, but somehow I guess that worm somehow goes in him or does something to him, because he looks crazy right here. Got these marks here. Now, real quick, one thing I can say right real quick is, like, basically, if this is the way he looked in the comic, I feel like already they should have had more black shading. Like, you can see the bumps, like the scratches and everything on him, the deformation and everything. I just wish it was a little bit more darker, like this is right here. I think it'll look a lot cooler right there, because like I said, I didn't even know anything about the worm thing. I just saw Shredder. I figured this is Shredder, and then this is Shredder without the armor. Because they have released Shredder before, like a battle damage, so I thought it was like another battle damage version, so I'm not sure. But like I said, we're going to find out together. So right in the top, you got Eastman and Layers right there, warning. Then right in the bottom, you got all the people who were involved in this nice looking figure. Some more legal information there, Nickelodeon, the Ninja Turtles logo right there. On the side, you got another picture of that worm Shredder, or whatever this is right here. That's what I'm saying. Looks like he's melted, kind of like Clayface. Like I did a Clayface review just recently. Kind of like Clayface right here. So that's why I was kind of hoping that he kind of looked like that. But we'll see with the figure in hand, if I can see more of that detail in hand. Right here, you got a few poses with the 2 figures right here. You got the Turtles there. Of course, I'm going to use these in the size, not size comparison. The final pose, I'm going to bring my Turtles out. And then from this line right here, like the only one I really want to grab, of course, April. And I need to get April. I do want to get Leather. I like the way Leatherhead looks. He has a lot of detail on him. So I'll basically do a review for him when I do get him. And like I said, a picture right there, another picture right there. All right, so let's go ahead and get Shredder out the box. So before we look at the clamshell with the figures and everything, I do want to show you guys, once you pull the figure out, it does have this cool art right here. You see the 4 turtles right there. You see Shredder's helmet there. You see like a little fire. So obviously there's like an after battle scene. So pretty cool. I like that. So now let's go ahead and look at the actual figure and the clamshell. So just like I said, if you ever pick up one up used, you need to know, or you need to sell one for some reason, hopefully you don't. You can see where the pieces go back, so it could look like new when you sell it to the person and give the person the respect. But yeah, here he goes right here. So like the weapons right here, you see the swappable hands. See some more hands right here, some more weapons, and then the worm. And like I said before, like you don't really see like the details on there, but it's not as black or as shaded in as it should be, or it looks in the comics, I guess, from the art on the packaging. But definitely still looks cool. So we'll flip it over real quick in the back so you can see on the back. All right, so let's go ahead and get Shredders, these 2 Shredders out with all the accessories. So you can take a nice 4K look at all the details on the figure and accessories. And now we have both Shredders laid out with all the accessories. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figure first. And of course, I want to get Shredder first, because Shredder is my man right here. Shredder, right? You put brightness a little bit higher so I can make sure you guys get all the details in there. All right. So first off, this, like when I saw the packaging, this is the first thing I saw was this version of Shredder. I love the color palette and just the art style, like on the face, it was darkened there. You can see the scratches all over the helmet. Looks just like Shredder from the comics from what I remember. Like I said, I didn't read too much of these comics, maybe just the original ones. I didn't follow with the newer Mirage comics, so the storylines to me are all something new. But at the same time, too, that's not a rabbit hole I can go back into. I can't go back to collecting comics, man, because like I already do the figures, I can't do the comics. There's a little too much right there. Eventually, you know, you do run out of space for things, and I don't want to have a bunch of comics eventually just laying in my basement. So just look at the details on the figure first before we look at the infamous NECA articulation. All right, so you can see right there. I like the basically look at the back details. This dude definitely did not miss back there. Look at that. Got muscles on definition on there. Look at this. Tight around the waist. Nice tightness there. The toes. And I like the way the metallic paint on the shin guards, the claws right here, the gauntlets, the helmet, and the shoulder pads, the pantalons, whatever you want to call them. I like the way they are. They're painted on there. It has a nice metallic shine to it. Definitely looks good. And yeah, man, this is Shredder right here, man. Like Shredder was one of the villains in the cartoons that I know towards the end of or the end of the series and stuff, he kind of got more like cartoony and comedic but stuff, but he always was like he had a cool design. Like he's like, he's scary looking dude, like always freaking claws and everything. It's so cool. All right, so look at the articulation. So Shredder can look somewhat far up, very far down. His head can turn. You do get some hindrance with basically the helmet part hitting his back right here, so you can be careful with that. He could do a full 360, but not gonna do that. He does do a little bit of the giggity stuff on the side right here. The arms, now let's see, what I'm intrigued with is these shoulder pads. Are they gonna limit the articulation? So the shoulder pads are basically a hard plastic, but they're a little bit malleable, so it's actually not attached to the shoulder, so that's good right there. So you could get some articulation there. Let's see if we can get a T-pose for Shredder. So we do have a T-pose right there. Looks good right there. Well, not really a T-pose, but good enough right there. You could probably push it a little bit further, but I don't want to break my finger just yet. So there goes the arms right there. The elbows, you do get, ooh, look at that. You get double bend at the elbows. Now you're limited because they did this pretty smart right here. So you can see right here, like this, the wrappings here kind of hit that indentation right there on his bicep. So as you can see, boom, look, it goes right there. Hits the indentation. Now, the only thing is you do get some paint rub, so be careful with that. So you do get nice bend articulation at the elbow. And then you do get twist at the upper bicep. Let's bring this back down. Now, mine is a little bit loose already, but that's all right. And then you get twist. Let's see, you get a little bit, nothing at the, do you? Let's see. No, nothing at the elbow. You get, of course, at the hands, and this plastic right here is very soft on the claws right here. This one's harder, very soft here. So basically you can form it up again. So if yours comes in the package, there's been times before in the packaging where the figures are kind of like crunched in there and wrong, and they eventually meld that way. Just warm it up with hot water, and you can basically get it working again. All right, so let's go put the arms down. Let's see how far. Now, obviously, the arms can't go too far because you're gonna hit the shoulder pad, and the same thing going backwards. You're gonna hit the shoulder pad. So you get some limited articulation there on the shoulder going back and forth, but you do get some good articulation going up and down right here this way. So let's keep the arms up that way so we can see how the ab crunch is. So you do get twist at the upper chest. The lower chest above the abs. You get twist. And then he can, oh, look at that crunch. He can crunch pretty good going forwards, and then backwards even better. Look at that. He's like, rah, why did you open me? So there we go. And then you get some back and forth too. So you can see here, it does shimmy back and forth a little bit there. So that's some nice articulation, I think, at the waist right there, the chest area. The waist, let's see, he does, nope. So there's no articulation at the waist here because most of it is done through here on the above the abs, lower the chest. So no articulation there. The legs, he could do a split, so that's good. You can hear that plastic there. He can do a split. Shredder can do the split. Very good. He can definitely do, here we go, the Hogan boot. He got a good Hogan boot right there. He can do the flying knee. You got the flying knee. This is the test I always do right there. A little mixture of MMA and wrestling. So you got that going on there. Definitely good articulation at the legs. Now going forward, like I said, it's good there, but his butt, his big booty. Why is it all wet there? That's kind of, it smells kind of funny too. But yeah, his booty kind of gets in the way from going backwards, as you can see there. So Shredder got a big booty. This version of Shredder got a big booty, so he got that wide butt, because you can see there. So you can't get much back, but you can, get forward like this, where you have him crouch on the floor or kneeling down on the floor. So definitely good articulation there. So far, I'm surprised with the articulation. Not only that, I'm surprised that the joints are not like stuck there. So usually the joints get stuck, and you got to like warm it up or get a hair dryer, warm it up, or some hot water. But this guy right here so far, man, like, nice and smooth and buttery. Like, it just moves smoothly. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And doesn't feel loose once you do it once in a while. It doesn't feel loose. It stays, you know, snug. Now the feet, he does have twist at the feet, at the ankle. His feet cannot, I mean, kind of go up, not much, no toe articulation. And then going backwards, you get a decent amount bent backwards. So, so, I mean, other than the shoulder, so far Shredder, man, like this Shredder right here, I can only imagine the other guy without the shoulder pads. But yeah, so like this is the only hindrance I see right there, and maybe the back of the helmet. But this Shredder has good articulation so far, and he looks cool. Oh, I'm so excited to finally have a Shredder for my Mirage. Now, the only thing I do wish, seeing already, I kind of wish there was a twist here, because when you got the biceps this way, you kind of want to, like, I want the claws to show like this. When I have my Shredder, I like to kind of, you know, show the spikes or the claws right here. And then, unfortunately, if you do that, you see how the bicep goes. It looks kind of funky that way. Like no one really walks around with their bicep inward like that. So, yep. So that's the only thing I see negative wise so far with the design of this figure. But man, he looks cool. The articulation, the waist is amazing. The leg articulation is good. The elbows, the knees, all good so far. So now let's go look at the naked Shredder, or was it the worm Shredder, or whatever. So this guy, like I said before, like you can see the detail on his chest. Like he looks kind of like you know, like clay face, or you know, kind of thing a little bit. You can see the detail on the face. I just wish it was like, see how this is black right here? I wish you just had more of that to kind of match the art style. Like I said, I didn't read the comics, so I don't know much about the story, but from the art they show in the box, it's usually as close to the art from the comics. So just to kind of make it look more of the comic, it should have had a little more of this black panel line, if you want to call it, all across the chest on these scar pieces right here. So, all right, so let's look at his face. Shredder looks like a zombie right there. You got the hair, you got the man bun going on. Back there, same back right there, all that muscle on the back. Same thing around the waist. His booty, let's see if we get the big booty too here. Yeah, about the same booty, just detail on this one. And then, let's see. So it looks the same going down. And what I do like too is they kind of kept it the same with the design on the shins. Like you can see that it's painted. Like you got the 3 stripes there, the 3 stripes there. So they kept it kind of, you know, identical to each one. So, you know, it won't be obvious. My OCD, I'll see stuff like that. So I like the fact they did that. So now his articulation should be a lot better. So let's see. So, oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, there we go. Now we got a true T-pose right there. That's true T-pose for Shredder. And then same thing right here. So you got the double bend at the elbow. And you can see the joint a little bit there at the elbow. But the thing I like too is you don't see a lot of paint rubbing off or nothing. So that's good right there. Kind of neck is improving a little bit with their articulation. And then of course you can put you got the twist at the biceps. So you can basically do, you know, the water hose. So you're definitely cool right there. I like to have one of my toys when I open them, man. So nice bend right there. You can see this, do the muscle man pose. Yeah, this is the muscle man. Oh yeah, yeah. I take my vitamins, brother. But yeah, so it looks cool right there. You got the wrist. They have the bend at the wrist, so even better. You could get the better pose like that. Let's get this pose real quick. Let's get this pose. Look at this. Look at my man flexing. Look at this boy. Look at that back. He's showing that back off. Like, yeah, dig it, chicks. Dig it. Yeah. Let me bring this brightness. There we go. Oh, that's a little too bright. There we go. All right, so let's see if his waist is the same as this. This one feels a little bit stiffer. Like, he can't go forward just as much. Can't go back just as much, and makes it even. Look at that. He's showing the back even more. Look at this dude. This dude's flexing on with his muscle definition. Look at that. It's like when the diesel is Shredder. I mean, super Shredder, but still, this guy has so much definition on him. All right, so we got that. The head. Oh, I'm sorry, the head articulation. Same thing as the other one. You could basically do a little bit more. The only hindrance I see is the chin, maybe. So definitely do a little more articulation at the head. You can do the split too. So as you can see, do the split. Legs can go far up. Legs can go this much back. And then you can bend the knee again. Boom, look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Look at that. Look at that. Woo! Look at this guy. He's on the beach right now, just flexing and stuff. Like, wait, what? Everybody's getting the grill ready, getting to grill up the food and stuff. He's out here just on the beach flexing. Like, yeah, look at these muscles. Sorry, so we got the articulation. So the articulation is identical to the other Shredder. Like I said, I just feel like this one's more, like it gives you more range of articulation because obviously with no shoulder pads. And then just the texture on him too is pretty cool. Like you see, like you feel like the little rivets or lines on his chest. Definitely cool. Let's see, we got here, the legs, same thing, the feet. Same thing as the other one, so I'm not gonna go too much into the articulation down here. But yeah, man, this guy looks cool. Now, oh, look at this. Wait. So if you're a NECA fan, I can't focus it. Hey, let's see. Let's see if I can focus it. Look at that paint. Look at some of the paint rubbed off on the floor. See, so this is from this one right here. This version of Shredder. I'm trying to see where that paint came from. But yeah, if you're a NECA collector, you're kind of used to that. So that's you know, something that you got to deal with sometimes. It does drive me crazy sometimes. Look at this. Like, this is a pretty good paint chip right there. So definitely cool. All right, so you got the karate choppy hands. What the? Or you can basically massage somebody in the back. You got those. You got a pair of those. They have the same identical hands too. So as you can see here, I'm just gonna grab one of each. As you can see, the same hands, just has the claws. Just has like that weird, freaking worm-looking design on him. You get a pair of that. You get a pair of semi-open hands. As you can see, semi-open hands. Real cool. I like that. You get a pair of closed fists. So you can basically use the weapon or punching. Same thing right here. Just like I said, missing the claws and has the details on there. And then you do get the weapons here. This is nice. It's like a soft malleable plastic, so you don't have to worry about that breaking off. I like that. I always like when they do things like this because sometimes, you know, figures do fall over. And I always get mad when I get something chips or bends. But you got the nice metallic paint on here too. It's not as shiny as the helmet on Shredder, but you can still see, look, you can still see a nice little shine there. So it looks metallic at the portion with the blade. I like the way this blade looks. Bendable plastic here too. This is a cool, like this one I like because for my other Shredder figures, I don't have this piece right here. At least from the cartoon ones or the comic book ones. I don't have like a weapon like this. And of course, you get Shredder's katanas, his swords. And these are cool. So you got that right there. That nice paint around the bottom portion where the metal's at. Same thing with the nice metallic paint on the sword. As you can see there, little details here. So definitely cool, man. Like, he has a lot of things. And, oh, one thing I forgot is the worm. Look at that thing. That thing looks creepy. The little worm right here. This is probably, if I were to drink tequila and had a worm like this in the tequila, I would not be drinking that thing because you wake up looking like this dude right here. But I'll take it for the muscles, though. I'll wake up. I'll drink this or take this worm if it gives me those muscles. But yeah, here's the worm. Soft plastic also, so it won't break. So definitely cool piece, man. Like, this Shredder surprised me. Like I said, I was on the fence buying it. I was like, hey, you know, I haven't bought Turtles in a while. And I needed a Shredder. I need a Mirage version of Shredder. So there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and do a quick size comparison with these guys. And there we have both Shredders staying there. Well, semi-default pose, rare size comparison. That freaking bare-chested Shredder, man, he likes to flex, man. He can't help it. He likes to flex. Look, he's trying to flex the muscles. But anyways, let's get this size comparison started. I'm going to bring in first another NECA figure, not from the Mirage line, but it's still a NECA Ninja Turtle figure. And this is going to be the NECA Last Ronin. I hope they don't fall. Please don't fall on me, figures. Now let's bring in another Mirage figure, and this is going to be the NECA Mirage Splinter, one of my favorite ones. I love the detail on the Splinter. And then let's go ahead and bring in another Mirage line. This is going to be the NECA Mirage, I think it's the Wanderer, if I remember correctly, the name. And now let's bring in something different, a different line. This is going to be the SH Figure Arts Gojo. Gojo. And last but not least, you guys know I always gotta do this. This is the SH Monster Arts Godzilla Jr. Gotta have the Godzilla. You guys know I always gotta have the Godzillas in the size comparison. So there you go. Nice size comparisons with some other NECA lines, some in the same Mirage line, one not, and an SH Figure Arts and SH Monster Arts, just in case you currently have any of these figures in your collection and you're curious of how the Shredder will fit in your collection, at least size comparison wise, or your display. All right, let's go get the final thoughts and final poses. So because I'm having so much fun like doing the muscular poses with that shirt off Shredder, man, I wanted to do a little pose off here. So as you can see, Shredder right there, basically too sexy for that shirt. That's the only song I hear right now. I'm too sexy for my shirt. So basically, Shredder's right there. And you can see the Shredder with the mask on is so embarrassed right now. He's hiding his face. He collapsed to the floor. He's like, what are we doing? Why did we stoop to this level now? First we're comedic, now we're doing stupid stuff like this. And you see the other, I'm sorry, I forgot this toad's name, but you see him there posing with the big shirt ripped, barely no shirt on, and then here comes the other Shredder. Look at that arc on that back. Look at that arch. Look at that. Showing the glutes and showing everything there. He's just posing. He's like, yeah, look at this. Yeah, this is what the worm does to you. Forget steroids. Get on the worm. And then Shredder's like, nah, why? But anyways, I'm having fun. Just This one pull I wanted to do. I just want to have fun with this because, like I said, I'm enjoying the articulation on that shredder, man. The one with the shirt off, I'm liking it, man. Like NECA surprises me with this articulation, and like I said, no like stuck joints on either one figure so far, and I'm happy with that. NECA, please keep that up. And for this final pose, I want to gather up all the shredders I currently have in my collection. There is two there is missing. I got the Super 7 one, and I do have the shredder clones. But these are basically my main shredders right here. I want to have them all there together so you can see how it basically Shredder changed over the times and different art style for comic books and cartoons. And of course, the classic Shredder right there. Look how ugly that dude was. I guess it makes sense because when he first came out figure form, he had no shirt on. So it makes sense that this one has no shirt on. And I would say of all of these right here, the two toughest ones to stand on their own is the original Shredder and the movie Shredder. Those two are pain in the ass. They might fall during this review. I'm not sure. Hopefully they don't. But there's all the Shredders I have currently in the collection. And I want to show you guys, like I said, how they compared and see which one you think is the best. So please, in the comments, let me know when you're watching this portion right here, the review, which one is your favorite shoulder? Which one's your favorite Shredder that you see in this display right here in my collection? If you have one that's not in here, let me know which one you do have in your collection that's your favorite Shredder. Now we're doing 112 only, not any 1/6 scale stuff, just 112 and figures, not statues. Just basically 112 figures. If you don't have a Shredder, if you have a Shredder that's not in here, let me know which one it is. And if it is your favorite one. But here are my Shredders, man. And no matter what, they all still look cool. Like I said, I like the design of Shredder. I've always enjoyed the design of Shredder with the claws and all that stuff. I like the way even the color. I like the color. The purple was never a big color for me, but I like the way it looks on Shredder. So these are some amazing pieces right here. So I hope you guys have at least some of these in your collection if you're a Turtle fan. But if not, enjoy this rotation right here of the Shredders. And finally, the face-off I've been waiting to do with this figure. The main reason I bought this figure is to have Shredder dueling off against the 4 turtles right there. Those are the 4 Mirage turtles. One of my favorite turtle lines that, or at least just basically favorite turtles that NECA has done in a long time. These turtles are amazing. If you got these, they came out the 4-pack. This is the 4-pack I got here. But they did reissue them in the 2-packs. So definitely grab them if you can. Or is it 2-packs or single pack? Can't remember. But if you can grab them because these turtles are amazing. The detail on them, the bulkiness of them, the weight of them, they just look awesome. And now Shredder is just basically the last piece to complete this basically amazing duel and face-off. And just have them on the shelf with Shredder because the details on Shredder, you thought the turtles were like muscular and stuff like that. Look at all that detail on that Shredder. Now, I wanted to squeeze in the shirtless Shredder on here, but I did another pose with him already, and I didn't have any other figure to have him face off because I said I don't know much about the comic. And swapping out the hands real quick, swapping out the hands on this figure is a little pain in the butt because yes, the claws are like a soft plastic, but it doesn't let you get a good grip on it when you're trying to insert the peg into the peg hole. And then, as you can tell, the other shred there, like the back of his claws, it does warp a little bit. It's easy to fix. Like I said, you can fix it with the hot water and the air gun, and you're good to go. But man, in the weapon, putting that staff into Shredder's hand for me was a little bit of pain because the hands are pretty hard, like the fingers. So you had to basically I had to pull the thumb all the way back in a way to slide that in there. So the sword goes in fine because like the hilt of the sword fits in perfectly into the hand. But this, because you have the little ribbon at the bottom of that staff, you can't slide it into the hand as easily. You guys actually like pry the hands open. And my route was the thumb. No stress on it, so there's no problem. But definitely gonna keep that on there because like I feel like if I keep taking that weapon out, it's gonna cause damage over time on that hand. But man, like I'm even happier now that I got this Shredder. Like I said, I was on the fence, man. Like just having them all together now against the turtles, the height, the scale of them, it just looks good, man. I like the way this looks, and this is gonna be, oh man, this is gonna be nice. Like I'm so tempted to probably possibly, because I usually have my Shredders my lower shelves. I might just move them back up and create a whole new shelf with just these guys right here, with just the Mirage ones. It's gonna look so cool, man. But yeah, man, I love this. If you have the turtles, like I said, I suggest, or I would think as a turtle fan, you would need the basically Shredder. So here he is with the turtles. I hope you guys enjoy this. With that in mind, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe button, click that bell notification. And as always, collectors, keep collecting, stay safe, be good, dolly. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, turtles in that half shell, that a power.